I did a very spontaneous thing today. I packed up my truck. I decided to go explore a different state park. No, not Government Canyon. I am at Pedernales Falls State Park. Campsite 14, got it kind of at the last minute. There were a couple options still left, but most of it was reserved already. But like I said, spontaneous on a holiday weekend. I say I did pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and get some of my stuff set up. I think I'm actually just going to spend the night in my truck and not mess with a tent. And then I'm going to go find some trails to explore and do some hiking. So yay for that. This is a super cute campsite. A little pathway to this little shelter. It's super cute. All right, so I think I've decided on Trammell Crossing. Do that trail. I think it's like 5 miles or 4.9 or something like that. Close enough to 5. That's a good afternoon hike right there. So I'm going to go do that. It's supposed to be really cold again tonight. It was like in the 20s last night, like high 20s. I think tonight it's supposed to drop down into the 30s again. The high, it's like 62 degrees right now, so it's nice and warm and sunny. It's kind of funny. When I checked in, the guy was like, you know it's supposed to get really cold tonight, right? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, I hope you're prepared. Yeah. Well, you know there's a fire ban right now, so you can't have a campfire. I'm like, yeah, I know. I'll be fine. And then he got hung up on the fact I'm here by myself. He's like, you're here by yourself. I'm like, yes. You don't have anybody with you? No. Are you going to be okay? Dude, I have an ice axe in my truck, and I know how to use it. Like, don't ask weird questions like that. I'll be fine. Like, I wasn't kidding about the ice axe. It accidentally came with me from New York. I have no use for it here in Texas, but it does scare some people. So the trailhead is right here in the campground. That's super convenient. There's actually 2 trailheads. I might actually do both. Twin Falls and then the Trammell Crossing one. Alright, we got sidetracked by the Twin Falls Nature Trail. Let me check that out really quick. It's not very far. This is super cool. Bad news is I'm going to have to come back up. These little trail markers are so cute. Alright, I already downgraded because it is warm, y'all. 62 degrees. After this morning's 27 degrees. It is hot. This is cool. Some pretty steep stairs. I'm assuming this is Twin Falls. No falls today. That's okay, it's really pretty. So I came from that way, but there's more this way, so let's go this way. I think this makes a loop. Okay, this isn't part of the trail, but this is super cool. A little canyon. Oh, I feel like a little kid. Oh. Dead ends. That was cool. Kind of going back. I love this. This is so neat. Alright, I think this is going to come out at the campground road again. And then I'll go find that other trailhead. That trail actually literally comes out my campsite. It's right over there. The red truck. That's super convenient. I'm right there. But we're going to go back on the road and we're going to go find the Trammell Crossing trailhead. Yeah, it's almost like a Forest Service road. A cute little amphitheater in there. That's cool. This is so pretty. Still looks like a road, but it goes down to the water. But we're on the other side now. And we're gonna try to go do, supposedly this is a loop. And my feet are soaked, so that's kind of fun. But at least it's a warm day. Water wasn't too bad either. It wasn't too cold. Actually felt kind of nice. I don't know if you can see it. I'm climbing like a good climb. My heart rate, woo, it's in the orange, man. This is a nice trail though. I really like this. It's kind of exposed. Summertime, this would be miserable. But today, I need some sunshine. So it's nice. Trail finally leveled off. And now it's just kind of flat-ish. Trail's like this red sand. I just passed a couple people that thought I was crazy for being out here in shorts and a t-shirt. And they were wearing pants, which is fine. But then they had puffies on. You know, it's 60 degrees. I think I'm just built different. Trammell Crossing. Alright. We're gonna go. I think this makes a loop. We'll go this way first. Loop trail and loop trail cut through. There's like the bigger loop, and then there's several places you can cut across and cut it short. So I think that's what that is. It's one of the places you can cut across. So I feel like I've been walking forever. But y'all, it's only been 2.5 miles. And that includes the Twin Falls Trail. So I don't know what the deal is today, but I'm just like extra tired for some reason. I feel like I'm moving in slow motion. Overlooks plural. And the Cypress Mill Loop. Well, the river overlook was pretty cool. Not super dramatic, but it was impressive. But there were like 10 people all sitting on the rocks there facing the overlook. Looked like a group of teenagers or college students being kind of loud and obnoxious. I'm glad they're enjoying themselves, but yeah, I was going to sit there for a peaceful, quiet break, and that was not going to happen. So we'll go to the hill country overlook, which I actually don't need to go back to the junction. There's a path that cuts across straight from this one. Yeah, so right here where there's this bush in the middle of the trail, I could go that way back to the junction, or I can go this way and go straight to the hill country overlook. So we're going to do that. Oh, I guess this was the hill country overlook. And I think I'm going to continue with the loop, because why not? So that straight ahead goes to the river overlook, or you can go off this way and this will go back to that junction between the two. Overlook, where I just came from. I'm gonna go this way. And Cypress Mills loop. Let's go. Let's do this. Oh, the loop starts with a significant downhill. Y'all know what that means. What goes down must go back up. Just like that, the vibe changes. Went from rocky and exposed, sandy. Now we're in these trees that are not very high above my head. And it's just got a different feel. It's shaded enough I can take my sunglasses off. It's kind of nice. I like my sunglasses, but not when I'm sweating. Yeah, we're right up against the park boundary, the barbed wire fence. See the trail completely straight along this fence. Other thing I'm going to mention is there were tons of people at the overlooks. Tons of people out on that other trail. Nobody on this one. And now or climbing. And it is very rocky. Whew. Got a surprise view. Look at that. That's pretty. It's very green. And we keep going up and up. Still along the park boundary, but we're about to make a hard right because now the boundary is right in front of me. So the trail is gonna, cut here to the right, 90 degrees. Oh, I feel like I'm in a different place entirely now. I'm still along this fence, but out there, it almost looks like somebody's ranch. I don't know. All right, so now we're turned inward now, away from the boundary, and I think we stay away from the boundary now. I think we go back towards, I guess they're the cliffs or the overlooks and the crossing. Got some erosion on the trail. Looks like a ditch. One of the things on my life bucket list is shortly after I retire, I want to hike the Pacific Crest Trail. Anybody who knows me knows I'm absolutely obsessed with that thing. I follow hikers every year. I follow vloggers and bloggers, and I'm on like 1,000 Facebook groups where they talk about gear and all kinds of strategies, and I love it. I'm gonna do it. But this right here, I feel like this might be some good practice for the desert section. I swear it looks like a lot of those videos in Southern California. Hot. It's not really that hot today, but it's very sunny and gravelly and dusty and dirty and dry. Well, here we are. That's cool. And okay, loop trail, that's where I just came from. Loop trail cut through that way. And Trammell Crossing. I mean, we're this far into the loop, we might as well finish it, right? So I did see 2 more people, but I know why not very many people are back here. It is very exposed and it's quite monotonous. It literally goes on like this for like 2.5 miles. Not really much variation. It's cruisy, so that's kind of nice. I love these little log benches. They're so cute. Shall we do the spur? I don't know. It goes that way. And then I can go that way to go to the crossing. That will eventually go to the crossing. I'm gonna look at my map. Hang on. So I decided to stay on the Cypress Mill Loop. That spur back there is called the Cypress Mill Spur. But it's like 1.1 miles. This little segment right here is 0.6. So I mean, it's not much more to do the spur, but usually I hike early when I'm fresh. I don't usually hike this far after a pretty busy morning. Well, that was 0.6. Other end of the spur. It goes out that way. I heard voices over there, so somebody's on that one. I think that was a good choice. 0.6. That was an easy 0.6 though. That went by really fast. Trammell Crossing. I'm back at this junction. Came from there. That was where I went when I started. And we're going this way. On the descent down to the crossing. I don't remember it being that steep going up it, but man. Last stretch of the trail, I gotta climb out of this riverbed back up to the campground. It's very exposed now. This was partially in the shade on the way down. You see my shadow. My shoes are squeaking because I just waded right through the river. Felt wonderful on my feet. So another great hike, actually 2 hikes, or I guess 3 hikes if you want to call it that, 3 different trails. So I did the Twin Falls Nature Trail, Short and sweet, not too difficult. A little bit steep going down and coming back up, but really nice. And yeah, I really enjoyed that one. And then I went and did the Trammell, I think that's how you say it, Trammell Crossing, where you go across the river. That was fun. And then I did the Cypress Hill Loop, which goes past two overlooks, a river overlook and a hill country overlook. And then it goes back around to the very edge of the park along the boundary on two different sides. And then loops back around to where you start at the Trammell Crossing. Like just over 7 miles. Yeah, great. 10 out of 10 so far. This place is great. And it's kind of funny because I'm back on my truck. I was like, okay, I'm just going to go to camp and I'm just going to relax and eat dinner. But y'all, I still got about an hour before sunset, and I think I'm going to go out to the falls, the Pedernales Falls. Today was supposed to be the rest day, but you see how that went. So tomorrow I probably will just get up and go back home. But no, this has been great. I didn't think I would get all these miles in, and it's such a gorgeous day. Like, hard to believe it was 27 degrees this morning, and I was really regretting all of my life choices about living in an RV with no heat. I mean, I have heat. I just don't want to turn it on because I don't want to mess with the propane. So I just sucked it up and bundled myself up in there. But now it's like almost 70 degrees and it's sunny and it's wonderful. Well, I found where all the people are. They're all at this place. So parking lot is super full. I might not video very much because I have a feeling there's going to be lots of people on this trail and lots of people at the falls. So this is incredible. Wow. It's like a cave over there. In there. That hole in the wall. It's kind of cool. It's like a tube with something stuck in it. This is absolutely incredible. Try to squeeze through here. This is magical. Look at this. Oh my goodness. that was absolutely 1,000% worth it. I am so glad I did that. The Pedernales Falls. If you come to the state park, you have to go see the falls. I don't know. I mean, that should have been a given, but it was not. I was coming out here to do some hard, diverse hiking over 2 days and to camp. Like, that's what I was planning to do. I don't know. I mean, I saw cool stuff before I went to the falls, and then I went to the falls, and oh my goodness, I was like a little kid on a playground. If you like climbing and exploring and the formations and the rocks from the water that rushes through there, amazing. Like tunnels and tubes and bowls, and oh, it's so fun. Can't say enough about it. There are no words for that. I took like hundreds of pictures and videos. Like, I am not even going to apologize for that because it was awesome. That gave me a whole nother 1.5 miles of climbing up and down over rocks. So I'm worn out, y'all, but in a good way. In a good way. No complaints, no regrets. This has been great. And I found out that there's backpacking here. They have campsites that are hike in, but like they can be up to like 4 miles, I think. I don't know, pretty substantial. So I might be back. I'm going to run out of weekends, y'all. So I changed into warm and dry clothes. Actually, it really wasn't that wet, but I did get a little bit sweaty, and my socks and shoes for sure were soaked because I stomped through quite a bit of the water. They are currently out there in the truck. Hopefully they'll be dry by the morning. If not, that's fine. I got my Crocs, and I'm probably going to go home tomorrow morning. And really, the only other trail I want to do out here is like 10 miles, and I don't think I have that in me. I do need a rest day. Like, y'all, that's really important to recovery, and I do CrossFit most of other days of the week, so Sunday is usually my rest day, but today it was not. So it maybe doesn't look very appetizing, but it is so yummy. So I went through a period of time where I was making all of my own backpacking food, and I still make quite a bit of it, but living in an RV, I can't do what I do when I'm in my house with a dehydrator and all that stuff. But this was one of the leftover ones, and it's super simple. I just made a lentil soup with some potatoes and veggies and lentils and a bunch of seasonings and cooked it, and then threw it all in a dehydrator, let it dehydrate, and then portioned it out. Stuck a little single serving packet of olive oil in there and vacuum sealed it all up. And ooh, it is tasty, especially after a long hike. And it's gotten really cold outside, hence the hat. And yeah, this is going to warm me up. Super yummy. I just had to boil it for like maybe 2-3 minutes. Let it sit for a little bit. Potatoes are still a little crunchy, but I don't even care. I'm so hungry. Well, I survived the night. It was really quite cold. They had us open our faucets last night at our campsite and let it drip all night. And this morning there was a reverse icicle on the ground, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, it definitely hit below freezing. But I was nice and warm. I have all the stuff, so I am going to go check out the swimming area. I drove from the campground just down the road a little ways to where you can walk down to the river and go swimming. Obviously, definitely not swimming today. It's probably still like 30-something degrees. Swimming area, foot traffic only. I think it's only like 0.2 or something like that. Not very far. I am hiking in my Crocs this morning and my sweats because it's too cold for shorts. And my shoes are still wet from yesterday, and it is too cold for wet shoes. Got a nice little warning. Well, we will find out. It does start to go down, but it's not steep. Alright, so here's where the steps are, and we go all the way down in there. That doesn't look too bad. There's steps like this over at the falls, and that's not bad. Alright, we reached the end of the steps, and then we go into the dirt. It's really pretty, and it's really quiet. It's also very cold. Well, so this is the swimming area. It's very low right now, so I don't know how much fun that would be. Oh, I mean, it's cold, but beautiful, beautiful. Well, I'm glad I came down here. This is very pretty and very peaceful. It is very cold. I haven't seen anybody, obviously. I love it. This place is great. I can't say enough about it. This is great. You're in Texas and get a chance to get out and explore, this is one of the places I think should be on the list. So yeah. So final thoughts on this state park. I think this has been a fantastic place. Like, I really like this. And it's kind of funny because this was such a spontaneous trip. I literally got on the Texas State Park website and grabbed the first place that had a campsite open within a 2-hour radius of San Antonio. And this was the first one that popped up. Knew nothing about it and decided to just check it out. And total win. Like, this has been awesome. Highly recommend this place. The trails, all the hiking trails I went on, I guess 4 now, 3 or 4. All very well maintained, well graded, varying degrees of challenging. So, I mean, there was the easy nature trail. There's, you know, some of these have warnings saying that they're steep and maybe strenuous, which I could see that if you are a beginning hiker or you're not in shape and you just are out here for a stroll, like, that's totally fine. But then there's some more challenging things out here. So lots of variety, something for everybody. Highly recommend this place. 10 out of 10, like 5 stars. Very, very good experience here. So, and everything's been super clean. Restrooms, everything clean, well maintained. People are actually out and taking care of stuff. So that's really cool.